Welcome back to your breakout session. We're in the final stretch. This next speaker you're going to hear from is Pastor Rochelle Wilson, and she's going to be talking to you about building a family dynasty through multiple streams. If that's not a timely message, I don't know what is. In the society that we live in, it is imperative that you have money coming in from everywhere to make sure that your family is taken care of, not just today, but for the long-term future. So without further ado, here's Pastor Rochelle Wilson.
Hello, my name is Rochelle Wilson, and I am an author, speaker, business coach, boutique owner, and educator. I'm also the curator of a vegan nail polish line entitled Color Me by Rochelle Wilson. I'd like to first thank Pastor Joy Morgan for inviting me to be a part of the Roadmap to Destiny conference. I've been looking forward to sharing with you guys for quite some time, and even though we're in a virtual space, I'm still excited. Today I get the opportunity to share about a topic that's so near and dear to me, and it's about building a family destiny through multiple streams of income. Before we get started, I want you to just indulge me with an affirmation, if you will. I want you to repeat these important words after me. I am a boss. I am a kingdom boss. I am a change agent. Say with passion, I've been designed to live the good life. I am bold. I am confident. I am secure in God. I've been designed to have and to create multiple streams of income. I am wealthy. I am secure in God, and every good and perfect gift that comes from above comes down from heaven to me. I am a kingdom boss. Now, I want you to give yourself a hand clap of praise, if you will, if we're in the church. No matter where you are, just clap it up for yourself, because we're going to have a good time over the next 30 minutes. Now, first things first, let me ask you a question. Simply put, how are you showing up today? Are you walking into the day, this season, with confidence, with assurance? Or are you walking into this next season of your life waiting for someone to open up a door for you? I want to give you some homework today, and that is to really identify how you're walking in this season. Pandemic or not, I want you to walk into this season with confidence and assurance. And just in case you didn't know, or if you need a reminder, you don't need permission to dream. Over the last 24 years, I've stood on the shoulders of a very successful career in education. And I've earned 6 figures in education. Can you believe that? Most educators never get the opportunity to say that they've made 6 figures. And while my career thrived, I would be remiss not to mention one part of my journey that created sustainability, flexibility, reliability, and freedom. That was having multiple streams of income. As a young educator, I started out teaching making $23,000 a year. Can you imagine that? And I understood very early on in my career, if I wanted to really make money and excel, I had to engage in outside initiatives and activities outside of education if I really wanted some sense of financial freedom and a better quality of life that didn't have restrictions. I started my first business with a dentist over 17 years ago. Wow. This business endeavor showed me how if I really wanted to earn a lot of money and earn it really fast, then I was going to have to do something outside of my 9 to 5. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a proponent of 9 to 5s, which is why I kept my job for 24 years. But I do understand that the way I'm earning now is much different than when I had my 9 to 5. As I stated earlier, I ended my career making 6 figures, but I had to work hard for it. And I work hard as an entrepreneur as well. But it was really my multiple streams of income, all of my side hustles, that shifted me drastically financially in a shorter period of time. It was also really this idea of me investing in coaches and mentors over the years that really prompted my connection with what millionaires do. And I discovered in that journey that most millionaires have at least 7 streams of income. And over the years, I adopted that approach for almost a decade. And I mean, every year I manage at least 7 to 12 streams of income. As a wife and a mother of 5, it's important to me that my children learn early how to be successful entrepreneurs if they choose to, if they don't go down a career track, and how to manage multiple streams of income. Our children are incorporated in all of our business endeavors. My husband and I, we own Success Geeks, which is a coaching company where we coach in the financial space, the business space, and in the entrepreneur space, and our children are involved. They help us with back-end administrative tasks. We also own Fresh Dry Cleaners, which is a brick-and-mortar boutique-style dry cleaners here in the Washington, D.C. area, and our children work the business. We believe in incorporating our children so that they know how to manage the destiny that we leave for them. Now, I know that we are in a virtual classroom, but I need you to do a quick activity with me. I want you to take out a sheet of paper and write down the number 7. And then I want you to write down all of the potential income streams that you have, even if you don't make money from them. I want you to write them down. And after you write them down, I want you to count the list. If you have 7, I want you to give yourself an A. If you have less than 7, I want you to give yourself a B. Not because you don't have the 7, but because you're on your way. That means you got some work to do. So when we're talking about a family destiny, we must understand this first, that it all starts with the end in mind. It starts with your why. It starts with my why. Why ask why? So for most of us, the why is really about financial increase. It's about living a better quality of life. And simply put, leaving a financial legacy for our families. Before we talk about multiple streams of income and how to manage them and how to be successful with multiple streams of income, I want to talk a little bit about goals, because goals are important, but more importantly, financial goals are important. It starts with you knowing your long-term and short-term financial goals. Knowing your why financially will keep you grounded and it will keep you focused. Now I want to spend my last few minutes with you sharing from this idea of what I call my 10 golden rules for managing multiple streams of income that are profitable. When we talk about profitable, we're talking about income streams that actually make money. When I ask my mentees and those that I coach in the business space, tell me your 7 streams of income. Tell me where are you making money from. They can give me 7, 10, 12, and sometimes 14, and maybe only 1 or 2 of them are making money. And I really want you to focus on these golden rules, because by the end of this session, you're going to be in a position where your streams of income are actually making money. It's not rocket science, but it requires you being intentional. So golden rule number 1 is you got to have or develop a God consciousness. And that means that God has to be the priority. He has to be first over everything that you do. I know you want me to give you a formula for, how you can make the money really quick, but God has to be first. You also have to start everything you do with prayer. For me as an entrepreneur, it starts with prayer, it ends with prayer. Every decision you make as an entrepreneur, everything you do should start with prayer. I wrote an ebook during the pandemic called Don't Panic, Pray: The Believer's Posture During Difficult Times. And I believe that my posture of being a prayer warrior and understanding that it starts with prayer has been the catalyst for why my businesses have been probably the most successful in a long time in a pandemic, because I understand the importance of communicating with the Father. Do not start a business endeavor. Do not extend extreme. Do not collaborate with anyone without consulting with the Father, because that starts with honor. And when you honor the Father, you prioritize him and you put him first. As Christian entrepreneurs, it's also our responsibility to honor God with our money, right? When you communicate with God and you pray with God, he'll give you wisdom and understanding for what you must do with your money. You must honor God. You must tithe. You must sow with your business revenue, no matter how much or how little you make. Golden rule number 2, understand your limitations. When you go above and beyond your limitations, you set yourself up for failure. You must be clear about your capacity, because when you're clear about your capacity, it gives you the ability to control unnecessary requirements that people will impose on you. I understand it's really easy for people to tell us what they think that we should do. People often think that they are the ones that should tell us what we should be doing. They have this criteria set for us, and most of us, we follow it because we love our family and friends. We all have done something that our friends or loved ones thought that we should do, and this has caused many of us to end out just feeling like we're in a desert by ourselves because we moved on a good idea from a friend or a loved one that was not the best idea for us. So you must be willing to understand your limitations. Golden rule number 3, establish long-term and short-term financial goals. If you don't have financial goals, you're setting yourself up for financial failure. You must know what is the end in mind for how much you want to make. I wrote a book entitled 6 Steps to 6 Figures about 4 years ago, and it wasn't until I said to myself, I want to make 6 figures, that I actually set that goal and I made 6 figures. You must also have some short-term earning goals for you. What is it that you want to make, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? This is the last quarter, so I'm hoping that many of you have identified what you want to make by the end of the year. I have some financial goals set for this last quarter, and I'm on trend to meet them, so I'm so excited. You must know how much you want to make, and your income streams must align with those goals. Golden rule number 4, you want to identify some short-term and long-term business goals. These are just the goals that say, I want to do this, I want to do that. By the end of 2021, I want to be doing this in business. Knowing what you want to do is key, and it's critical. If you don't know what you want to do, then you could be wasting time doing stuff that was not designed for you. Doing things that's just a waste of time. Let me pause here really quickly and just to remind you that most millionaires have at least 7 streams of income. And so you've got to be very clear about your business goals, because the businesses that you identify with, the businesses that you connect with should ultimately make money. I know so many people that are just wasting time. They have a t-shirt business, they have this business, but they're not making any money. They've gotten business cards made, they've gotten EIN numbers, and they're not establishing goals around those businesses, and they're not making money. I don't want you to have 7 streams of income just because I said you should have it, or most millionaires have it. I want you to have it because I want you to make money. I want you to increase your bottom line. As a coach, when we work with people, it is our goal to help people leverage their jobs and leverage their businesses using multiple streams of income with one goal in mind, and that is to increase their bottom line. So when you have multiple streams of income, you must make sure that those streams are making money. You must have constant streams of income coming in so that you have all of the resources that you need. I want you to understand that multiple streams of income will allow you to leave a financial legacy for your family. But this is the key. This is the key. I haven't left that golden rule yet. This is the key. It's all about how you manage those streams. You cannot get overwhelmed and let things dry up. You must have a system so that you can fund your dreams. And this is why it's important to adequately manage multiple streams of income. Listen, you're not a real boss until you stop waiting on someone else to fund your dreams. It's okay to have funders and silent partners. However, we don't want our dreams to be held up because our bank account is not prepared or ready for our dreams. You will not be able to thrive as a successful entrepreneur if you continue to manage your businesses with the poverty mindset. That means you're not concerned about making money. That means that you don't even know if you're making money. That means that every time you make money, you spend money. And the key to having successful multiple streams of income is how you manage. Again, I'm going to ask you a question before I transition to the next golden rule. You must also make sure that you're saving money. Are you saving money? With all the streams, all the money you may be making, are you saving? Because one way you know you are managing your income streams effectively is your ability to know when you must save, how to save, and how much you need to save. Now I have another question for you as it relates to managing yourself. I know you want to hear this quick fix, but I want God to be all in this equation. And I want to know, are you honoring God with your businesses? Are you supporting your local church? Are you taking care of the least of them? As the Bible says, because this means that we have the ability to pay it forward. When you're successfully managing your multiple streams of income, you have increase, you have overflow, and that means you can pull people up with you. And that only comes when you're saving. Golden rule number 6, we must reflect. Reflecting means that we're getting an understanding of what streams we need, what streams are working, and what streams we don't need. You must reflect. Reflecting will help you move from no movement to execution. Remember those people I told you that could tell me 14 businesses that they have and they're not making money? That's because they're not executing. Simply put, this is a time where you must be honest with yourself. If you wrote those goals down for particular streams, but somehow you're not accomplishing anything, you must be honest with yourself and figure out what you need to do. Identify the lessons learned. But what I want you to do when you're reflecting, I want you to continue to move. It's not okay for you to stop moving because you didn't accomplish a goal. Keep moving. Don't get discouraged. Golden rule number 7, create a plan and do something now. Do something different. If you want change, then do something different with what you've been doing before. If just writing a list of streams doesn't work for you, write the streams and now do the research. Do the research, now open up the door. Write the business plan. Make that phone call. Take action immediately. This means that you expect yourself to move and you move. This means moving beyond your cute journal or your laptop or your social media posts. This means you're doing something. You're working the plan. Golden rule number 8, assign some action items to your income stream goals. Yep, you got to do some work. Hard work pays off. This can be large milestones that are broken down into smaller tasks, and you should be reviewing those tasks. You should be reviewing those assignments weekly, monthly, and daily. As an entrepreneur, every single day I'm looking at all of my streams, and I know which days are for some streams and which days are for the others. And I'm looking at my movement. I'm looking at what I need to change. And you have to do that to successfully manage income streams that are profitable. And this holds you accountable as a business owner. Golden rule number 8, you got to secure appropriate resources. This is usually where people get stuck. I know I got stuck here for years because I would run into these brick walls, and it was all because I didn't properly assess the resources that I need. You're going to have to be very clear about your capacity to execute and what you need, and your ability to manage multiple streams of income, what you need to manage those streams of income. And this is not an easy task. You're going to have to identify what you need so that you can adequately accomplish your goals. Is money involved? Do you need a team? What do you need to produce? A lot of times people make the mistake of planning things that they don't have the capacity for or resources for because they think it'll just fall out of the sky. But you're going to have to get to a place where you know the resources that you need, make adjustments, and keep pushing. It can be very discouraging when you feel like you don't have everything you need, but I want to encourage you today to tell you to keep moving. The Bible says that God shall supply all of our needs, and He will supply all of your needs. When you don't have the resources that you need, keep moving. Write those goals down, make adjustments, but don't give up. You may need sponsors. Write that goal that you need sponsors. Plug in, reach out to people, connect with people, but don't give up. My last and final golden rule is plan. Plan, plan, and plan some more. In my book, 6 Steps to Six Figures, I talk a lot about the importance of planning and preparation. It's essential, whether you have a business or whether you have a career. If you don't plan for what you've written down, if you don't make a plan for those things that you wrote down, then you plan to fail. You just have goals written down. You write those goals down and you plan based on what you've written down. And based on the nature of your task, you may need a task list, you may need a project plan, or you may need a simple work plan. But this now may be the time where you need to reflect on the systems that you have to manage your work. This may be the time that you need to start writing down daily to-do lists. You may need tracking sheets. You may need a work plan, but you must plan. Plan for your work. Success is planned. You don't just wake up successful. You plan for it. I got to tell you that I planned this pandemic. I was very intentional about planning for our coaching company and my consulting companies, and my businesses have been booming. We have had more customers. We've retained more customers. We've gotten new customers. I cannot tell you that I had to close our Six-Figure Boss Network in October because we were full to capacity. That has not ever happened since we've been doing it, but it's been because I have been planning in a much more intentional space. So I want to encourage you to plan. You must determine what works for you. But the key to all of this is follow-up. You got to follow up with yourself. You have to follow up on your goals because you are your first line of defense as it relates to accountability. I held myself accountable during those days when I wasn't producing. I had to ask myself why I wasn't producing. And I had to hold myself accountable and plan accordingly. I hope you got something out of those 10 golden rules. As I close, I want you to remember that God wants you to be prosperous. God has given us all everything we need to make our own ways prosperous, like he instructed Joshua. We must be willing to put in the work. We must be willing to identify what's needed. We must be willing to map out our goals. We must be willing to save our money. We must be willing to honor God. Luke 19 tells us, 19:13 says, Jesus tells us to occupy and do business until he comes. This is certainly what I plan to do, and I pray that you would do the same. I am Rochelle Wilson, and I would love to connect with you to help you transform your life to that next level. Follow me on Instagram. Connect with me on Instagram at Rochelle Y. Wilson. Facebook, Rochelle Wilson. LinkedIn, Rochelle Wilson. If you'd like a free coaching session, head over to my website, successgeeks.com, and click the meeting tab. I also want to extend an opportunity for the Roadmap attendees to be a part of our Success Geeks Vault Retreat. And this is for career professionals and business owners who want to 10x what you're doing. This is an all-inclusive VIP event for those, like I said, want to 10x for 2021. And what we're doing for the Roadmap attendees, we are extending a 2-for-1 registration. Yes, you heard me right, a 2-for-1 registration. All the information for our Vault Retreat is at successgeeks.com. This special will end November the 20th for all the Roadmap attendees. Again, my name is Rochelle Wilson, and I'm your Success Geek, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you. Have a great one and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Were you blessed by that message? Wow, 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 wow. Some of the things that she shared were just so practical, things that you can start and do today. So I want you to put a little star next to the things in your notes that you're going to apply today. Get started today. All right. Listen, if you have specific questions for Pastor Rochelle and you are a VIP or premier attendee, I want you to head on over to the Q&A session so you can speak to her directly and ask her anything that you like. All right. If you're not heading over to the Q&A, you already know what time it is. It's break time. You can take a break, and then we're going to get ready to hear from Dr. Kim Harris in our next general session.